Oh, baby, there it is. All right, StreamYard has let me know that I'm back live again for the second time in an hour. Woo! Now I got to wait for YouTube to let you all know that I'm live. And I know I'm fastly running out of my, I am quickly running out of my notification for that 24-hour period. This is my third podcast in 24 hours. So, yeah, it's getting a little nutty. But there it is. The notification is out. So now all of Vype Nation knows that we are live. Yes, round 2. This is the second of 3 podcasts tonight. So, yes, we are not done yet. But this is round 2. So let me bring in Chris and get this party started. What's up, Bernard? What's up, Janosis? What's up, Jose? What's up, Gabriel? Hey, Gabriel, thank you for the coffee, man. I got the notification that you brought me a coffee, so thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Matt, what's up, Matt? How you doing? What's up, CF? What's going on? How y'all doing? Apple Monster out there. What's happening? What's going on? How y'all doing? All right, so let's go ahead and get the party started. Oh, I see Jeff Hale and Gwendolyn G. How y'all doing? All right. So, this is VypDrive episode 130. And 130 brings one of the best in the Apple space as far as making tech content on YouTube. He's coming to the podcast. He's here. He's next on VypDrive, which starts now. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and welcome back to another episode of VypDrive. This is the podcast about tech, hosted by the man about tech. And tonight, we have one of the best Apple content creators on YouTube coming to the podcast. The man does videos, he does podcasts, he does live streams sometimes, he does it all. So let's bring in my man Chris from DailyTekk. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's up? Glad to be here.
He's here, baby. That's right. Thank you for taking the time to join me tonight. I appreciate you.
Yeah, this is cool, man. Everyone else has been on here. I've been jealous.
Oh, be jealous no more. Be jealous no more. So, Chris, first question I ask every first time guest to the podcast. What brought you to YouTube?
Oh, dang. I probably told this story before. Did I tell you already? If I didn't, here we go again. All right. It started like this. All right. So DailyTekk, it started as a thing. It was like a side project. This is back in 2012. And so I'm at a job that I don't really like. And I started a blog. And the whole thing was like, I was going to have a DailyTekk find or something. And the first thing was really dumb. It was like a smart plug or something, really stupid. But anyways, I started doing these kind of like Mashable inspired top 100 lists. And they got really popular. And within a month, we were getting like 100,000 something views on the blog. And so fast forward, did a lot of that. And the brand kind of grew. And is this taking longer than you wanted? How long do I have
for
this question? All right, check this out. So after that, Google just trashed us in the search results. And this is like 2015 or something. And we just like quit getting views overnight almost. And it was like, oh, well, and I'm still working, by the way. So this is all like on the side. And so I was like, well, you know, someone at work was like, why don't you do this full time? I was like, actually, that's a good question. Why don't I? And so I was like, you know, tired of the blog thing anyways, really want to be more creative. And so I took me and my wife, all our retirement savings and plowed it into the business.
Wow.
And we went into YouTube and bought some equipment, and it was really awful, you know, like learned everything from scratch in like 2015. And then fast forward a couple, you know, 5 years, and here we are, as you see DailyTekk right now.
So you took a huge gamble, invested all your life savings into building up this brand, and it has paid off exponentially. I mean, you're 5 years in, you are fastly approaching 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, and you're doing great, man. So shout out to you. Kudos. That's what's up, man.
Yeah. It's a journey.
Oh, absolutely. That's quite the journey. So I'm curious, on your channel, you mostly do Apple content. And one of the big things about being successful on YouTube is finding that lane, picking that niche, and then doubling down on that niche, and then being comfortable with what you're doing in that particular niche. So my question is, what led to you deciding to do Apple content?
Yeah, well, it was, so if you look back in the channel history, I think a lot of the old content's still alive. it wasn't always that way. You know, there's some popular videos that were like TV reviews, Xbox content, some PlayStation content. You know, so it used to be more of a variety. But I looked at the analytics and I saw pretty quickly, it's like, if I want to make this a sustainable business, the quickest path to success is to focus on what works. And so I checked out the analytics, and then I combined that with, you know, like, what am I passionate about that I'm not going to burn out about? And it was pretty easy for me to settle on, you know what, I love Apple stuff. I could talk about it forever. It does well. There's a big audience. There's a lot of attention to grab. And so when I just combine those two things, it's like, I'm going to try going fully in this one direction, which made a lot of people upset because they didn't want that. But it's funny because as the channel grew, you know, obviously it didn't take too long before, you know, the new audience of people that were really interested in just Apple stuff kind of outgrew the old audience that was cranky with that switch. But that's how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how that works. When you're first starting out, once you decide to make that pivot, of course you're going to piss off all your old subscribers that came for the content that they signed up for originally. But at the time when you're growing, it's not that many. They are vastly outnumbered by your potential amount of new subscribers that come in. So at that point, you just got to go with what your heart tells you, what your gut tells you. You just got to go with it. And if you're comfortable with it, just go full throttle. And like I said, here we are 5 years later, and now you are doing daily Apple content and doing very well at it.
Yeah, well, thanks. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. And, you know, I keep that in mind. There's little pivots, not necessarily that big, but, you know, we pivot every now and then in some way or another. And I keep that in the back of my head. Like, some people aren't going to like it, but I got to do what I want to do and what's good for like the channel and stuff too. And it's just how you got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do what's best for the channel, and you got to do what's best for your viewers. So no doubt about it. Okay, I got a question for you. Did you watch the Samsung event today?
You know, I actually didn't.
Oh my Lord! I'll take your hand because you made one of the best life decisions you will ever make because you missed absolutely nothing. Oh my Lord! Okay.
What happened though? There was something with Marquez,
It was
right?
a train wreck. That's what happened. It was an absolute train wreck. It was boring AF. It might have been the single most boring tech event I have ever seen in my life.
So what was wrong with it? The production or what they announced?
No, what they announced was fine. The devices were amazing, but the way they presented them was terrible. I mean, you got people looking like they've never been on camera in their lives. You could tell they're reading into a teleprompter and they just don't understand how to come across on camera. It kind of felt like you were in class sometimes when they were like going over the X's and O's of the products and what they can do. And I'm just like, oh my Lord, it was boring, man. It was a train wreck. It was absolutely boring.
That's too bad.
You're smart. Because I was going to ask you to compare that to, hopefully they'll do better. Their live events are usually more entertaining, but the event today, utter garbage. But I was going to ask you to compare that to WWDC because WWDC is the gold standard of how these virtual events should be done. WWDC was absolutely amazing.
I can imagine. I mean, that was pretty amazing. That was pretty spectacular. It's hard to measure up though to what Apple was doing there.
Yeah. But that's cool though, because everybody knows that when it comes to these event presentations, Apple is the gold standard. So you have a blueprint, Samsung. You should have used the WWDC blueprint, but they went off on their own little tangent, and it was terrible. It was bad.
Well, you know, let me just say though, sometimes I'm all for like going off in your own little thing and not necessarily copying too much. Like I didn't get to see it, but the Snap event that happened, you know, I don't know, like in the last month or something, people were saying that thing was crazy. And I didn't watch it because of Snapchat. But it sounded like it was nuts with like virtual stuff all over. And it was very, very different. And I feel like Samsung in particular, they fall into that trap of trying to copy Apple and Huawei, like all these companies they try to be. But it's like any person, you're never going to be a better version of whoever you're trying to copy. You have to do your own thing.
No. I'm going to need you to copy. You know? That's okay. That's all right. But when it comes to presenting technology, and if you're going to do it this way, they need to copy Apple. They copy Apple with everything else. Why not copy them for this event? Because this event was absolutely terrible. So they need to copy Apple. All right. So another thing, today at the Samsung event, we saw the official unveiling of the Galaxy Fold 2. Which is the successor to the original Galaxy Fold. So being an Apple person and doing Apple content, this question comes up a lot. I'm curious to get your thoughts. Do you think Apple should make a foldable device?
Well, here's the thing. oftentimes Apple's late to the party, and sometimes they're a category leader. Like when it came to the AirPods, they were truly wireless. A lot of people ended up copying them, but sometimes they end up copying. Apple Watch, they really came out and took over that market. Like right off the bat. There was a few wearables before, but they came in and really took over the market. For the wearable phone or for the foldable thing, I'm totally happy with them to wait until they think they can do it good and do it better, and then come out with it if they think that they should. Because here's the thing, like right now, I love my iPhone. I love both my iPhones. I always have two at a time. And like I don't wish that it folded just to fold. This does everything that I need it to do. And it's cool. Like it's fun. I like technology for technology's sake. I do like that, and I don't have to have something Apple just because it's Apple. But I want to do it right, not just because it's something to do. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree with you. I think that right now I don't know if there's enough practical reasoning existing for there to be an Apple foldable device. I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, and they each do what they do individually on their own very, very well. Right. And I don't feel the need to have them merge to do both things in one device because they do it each individually so well. So I agree with you. If Apple is going to do it, it needs to be done in such a way that it's feasible, that it solves an actual problem, and that it's executed to the highest of levels, how we are accustomed to Apple executing their devices.
Right. What's up, Renee? I see you, man. Renee, you're a big inspiration for everybody, man. But Viper, let me say though, I would rather have a folding iPad, to be honest. Like if it started out 11-inch and then you folded that out, like that, I would rather have that than a folding iPhone.
I think that'll be more practical than a folding iPhone. Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you could like attach a keyboard to it and something like that. That would be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Although, where's everything going? Right, with Apple Glass coming out and everything's just gonna be virtual.
Yes.
Did you see who tweeted that picture? And it's insane. It's like a desk. It was a desk setup, but everything was virtual. Virtual keyboard. It was like 3 monitors, but they weren't really there. You know what I mean?
I didn't see that, but that's a definite possibility of Apple Glass. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm interested in a future where I can wear a pair of Apple Glass and be walking around like a downtown metro area and have information coming up about all the stores. Like if I look at a certain restaurant, maybe the store hours, the menu, what's on the menu, things like that. Everything comes up in my field of view with the glasses on. That will be cool. Getting all that information about the restaurant without even stepping foot into the place. That would be awesome.
I agree. But this whole virtual thing, it's going to be weird because like, what if someday, I've thought about this before, there's just virtual YouTubers and, like, what does that mean for you and me? You know what I mean? Wait. This is like virtual.
I mean, technically we are virtual. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's like, what if, with like deep fakes and stuff, did you see the video Linus did? His team deep faked him and he deep faked himself. And it's he's like, I can retire now because I don't even need to be around,
that's crazy.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's some scary things going on in the world right now, and deepfakes is one of them. I just had a good friend of mine, John Prosser. His channel came under attack by these Bitcoin hackers, and apparently a lot of large channels, a lot of large verified channels are being under attack from these Bitcoin hackers, which is similar to what happened with Twitter a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, man, it's a scary world out there right now. It's a scary world.
Yep.
Oh, hopefully you got yourself protected. I just found out about these. Well, I didn't just found out, but I just became more informed about the Google Titan security keys that they sell, which is supposed to protect your account. Because with you having a physical key, hackers can't bypass your thing digitally because they need the actual physical key to get in. And so that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, definitely. I think I read something about Apple being a little more open to that recently, right? Or no?
I haven't heard anything about Apple doing something like that, but I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, we know Apple is so focused on privacy and security that I'm pretty sure they would be open to anything that will make Apple accounts more secure.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Shout out to the 12 of y'all that are watching the podcast live. Thank you for hanging out with me and my man DailyTekk on another episode of VypDrive. I appreciate you guys. If you want to go check out his content, his channel link is in the description, so definitely go check him out. Also, if you would like to support or donate to the podcast, you have the option to super chat, or you can buy me a coffee. If you don't want Apple to take a 30% of your super chat donation, the buy me a coffee link is in the description as well. None of this stuff is required, but anything you're willing to contribute, greatly appreciate it. Also, you can become a channel member as well if you want to do that. Again, not required. There is his channel link. Thank you, Janosin. I appreciate it. Always on it. And if you guys want to buy me a coffee, there's the link to buy me a coffee as well. Like I said, not required, but it does subvert YouTube taking 30% of your super chat donation. So there you go. Also, if you want to buy some of the new merch that I put in the merch store in the past couple of weeks, there is the Vibe Zone Teespring link. The sweatshirt that I'm wearing tonight, brand new. I just made it up a couple of weeks ago, and it is available in the merch store. So definitely go and check that out if you are interested. Shout out to those of y'all listening on audio only this week. Thank you for listening to another episode of VypDrive with me and my man Chris from DailyTekk. If you guys would like to go check out his content, his info will be in the show notes, so definitely go check him out. I appreciate you guys doing that. Also, if you would like to support or donate to the podcast, there should be a Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes. Not required, but anything that you're willing to contribute, greatly appreciate it. If you happen to be listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving a rating or review as to help more people discover the podcast, and that way we can get back into the top 200 of tech podcasts on Apple. So if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving that rating or review as it will help me out a lot. And thank you for listening to another episode of VypDrive. So Chris, we are now in full-on smartphone season. We had the Samsung Unpacked event today. We know that Apple and the iPhone keynote is coming either in September or October this year. So I'm curious. We know iPhone 12 is coming. We know about a bunch of stuff that will probably potentially be an iPhone 12. But I'm interested to get your thoughts on maybe a feature or a couple of features that you would like to see in an iPhone that we haven't had an iPhone up until now.
Oh, that we haven't had up until now. That's a great question. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to think about that a little further. I will say this though. I would love. I'm personally, as a YouTube dude, I'm really excited about the camera stuff. So whatever does happen and come out, I will be really excited for this year in particular for the camera system, because I don't know if you know this, I've been moving recently, so I'm kind of in between places, in between the next house and where I was. And while everything's all packed up and stuff, I've really been relying a lot more on my iPhone for shooting a lot of my content. And I just got a bunch of new Sony cameras too, but even with those, even with the A7S III on pre-order, I've been finding myself really relying on the iPhone, the 4K 60 and Filmic quality in particular on Filmic Pro. It's no joke. Like my 16-inch MacBook Pro can barely handle it. It almost crashed my Final Cut today editing that. And so it mixes in real nice with the Sony content. So I'm going to be, whatever they do come out with, it's going to be amazing. But I'm actually this year really excited about that iPhone camera system for video stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if Apple's going to do much more because it was quite a substantial camera update with the 11 Pro, but obviously with each new iPhone iteration, the camera always gets better. So there will be some sort of camera upgrade this year.
Yeah.
It'll probably be mostly from last year though, but yeah.
It probably will. What I'm really looking forward to, and it's not going to be this year, is the telephoto, the periscope zoom.
Ooh, yeah.
That's one thing I have been very jealous of from other Android devices. And what did they say? I don't know. We got like another year or two, right?
Yeah,
before that comes. I want that very badly.
2021. If
yeah,
what you
that actually makes me jealous.
Now I know you mostly use Apple devices, but do you use any Android phones? Or do you have any?
It depends. Well, yeah. I mean, Google just sent over the new Pixel. OnePlus often sends over. Like they do send me, and I do cover sometimes. I don't really go out of my way to acquire, just sticking to the niche. But I think it is interesting for everybody. It's in everybody's best interest for me to not box myself in so much and not be familiar with other things. I try not to be super one-sided. My content is less about like Apple versus the other stuff versus just like what I actually use and live with every day and sharing that with people. You know what I mean? But it still is in everybody's best interest for me to check out some other stuff. So I do, play around with it. But yeah,
I have often said that if you are going to have an opinion about both sides, iOS and Android, you need to have experience in both iOS and Android. You can't talk about Android if you never use an Android. You can't talk about iOS if you never use an Apple device. Like you got to have your feet in both ponds if you want to give like actual relevant thoughts about both platforms. So that's cool that you have you have dabbled in the Android world, and I, like you, was sent out the Pixel 4a, and I think this phone is absolutely amazing.
Dude, I haven't even checked it out yet.
It's at the PO box though.
It's at the because I'm moving, man. It's at the PO box, like another city away. But yeah, but I do want to check it out. So have you liked it?
Dude, this is on my short list for phone of the year. It's good.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's very good. I think it's better than the SE 2020. A lot of Apple people don't agree, but what that is. But yeah, you gotta use everything to get a good sense of how things work and how they compare. So absolutely, man, absolutely.
That's true. I will say too, from time to time, I will like purchase an Android if there's one that's like, you know, crazy enough to demand a little attention. Because I always have 2 phones at a time. Often it's 2 iPhones, so I can do like multicam stuff if I need to or whatever. I always have it. One that's like a personal, one that's like a camera dedicated. But from time to time though, like I will trade in one of those and get an Android and have it for a couple of months or something just to check it out because I gotta check it out. So it's not just like stuff that people send. Like sometimes I go out of my way.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Renee had to bring this up again. So we learned that Phil Schiller is kind of stepping down, or he has stepped down as VP of Marketing for Apple. He is becoming an Apple fellow. So more than likely, that means he's probably on his way out of the company at some point. When probably not right away, but he's definitely on his way out. So I think Jaws, forget the dude's last name, but took his place. So now we don't know who's going to present the camera features at the iPhone keynote because usually that was Phil Schiller, but obviously since he's not there or he stepped down, it could have been somebody else. So that'll be interesting to see how Apple does that this year. We know Craig Federighi is getting some more stage time, but I don't think it's going to be him. So I don't know.
That is a good question. What does it mean to become an Apple fellow?
I've been trying to figure this out for the life of me.
I don't understand.
I think it just means that even though he's not technically an Apple employee anymore or something to that extent, he still has special positions at Apple. Like I think Renee said, he's still heading up the App Store and Apple events. So he's still on teams at Apple. But as far as being actually employed with the company, I think he's gradually going to be on his way out.
Sure. It's got to be like an advisor kind of, right?
Yeah, right. Similar to what Johnny Ive went before he was officially gone. So, yeah. But other than that, I don't really understand the whole Apple fellow thing. Maybe Renee could chime in here. I'm pretty sure he has some thoughts about that. But, yeah.
It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you still get paid. You're practically in retirement or practically on your way out, and you still get paid. I mean, that's a good deal. But it's that because everything is changing on me, man. Like first, Johnny Ive left, then Samsung got rid of DJ Cole, or he got moved to a different part of the company. I used to love seeing DJ Cole at the Samsung event, so the fact that he's no longer had a mobile at Samsung kind of makes me sad because that's no more DJ at Samsung events, and now there's going to be no more Phil Schiller at Apple events. Like, damn it! Oh, all these changes drive me crazy.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't. There are a lot of employees that are like high profile. I've known some behind the scenes too at several companies, and when they leave, it's like it is sad because that's been a big part of your experience.
Yep.
And it's a little bit weird. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question in the chat. I'll pose it to you. What is your favorite Apple device?
Oh man, this is weird. I just did a live premiere a second ago, and people were like, "What's your favorite iPad app?" It's like I can't pick. And what's your favorite iPad accessory? I can't pick. Like I need them all. So what's my favorite Apple device? To be technical, I don't know. I guess I would have to have my iPhone because it's the one thing that I could actually do everything on. I've said this a million times before in my videos. If I got rid of my Mac and all my equipment, I could run my YouTube channel, in fact, my whole business off of an iPhone and still make it look really good. I could shoot, I could edit, I could publish just on my phone. So I would have to say the phone just out of, like sheer utility. But I guess for a fancier answer, I would have to say the ecosystem, because that is what is so powerful about Apple stuff for me. Like that it all works together. I need it all. That's the real truth.
I could do a whole podcast about the Apple ecosystem, but I won't get started. So Renee says in relation to what the Apple fellow means, he just says it means a lighter workload, more time for shooting Leica, racing supercars, spending time with his family. But he's not statistic enough to leave Greg Josiak with App Store event. So yeah, basically he's in semi-retirement. That's pretty much what it means.
Hey, it's gonna happen sometime.
Yeah, that's for all of us. So I want to get your thoughts on iPad, because we know lately Apple has been marketing iPad as a laptop replacement. So I know you've done a lot of iPad content on your channel. So what do you think about the iPad as a potential laptop replacement? Do you think it's there? Do you think it's close? Or do you think it's still a ways off? How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think you can make a categorical statement about it, which is not the answer people like to hear. But the truth is, like, what a laptop means to me is different than what it means to some other people, you know, and it totally depends on your kind of workflow and workload and your job and what you need out of it. And so the answer is, for some people, yes, and for some people, no. Unfortunately, for me, there's a couple things holding me back, you know, from being able to use it. I think Apple's addressed a lot of them. One thing that keeps me from just using just an iPad is there's no Final Cut Pro. And yes, you can get some amazing video editing software, but there's some things that I have to have, like optical flow. It's a tiny little feature in Final Cut Pro, but I can't be without it because I do a lot of handheld footage and I need to be able to slow it down and insert some extra frames to make it look really smooth and get rid of the jitters. And I can't do that on my iPad. So like professionally, there are some professional things that keep me from doing it. On a more practical standpoint, like something that I think keeps a lot of people is better external monitor support. And I just published a video like an hour ago that was talking about shift screen, which lets you use an external monitor support without the black bars on the side, kind of, but there's still limitations. And so for me, there are some practical things that keep me from just using it outright instead of my Mac. And they're little things too. They could easily be fixed like within the span of 1 year, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. There are things that I have to do on my MacBook Pro that the iPad just simply cannot do. Chief among them, Final Cut Pro. Like, yes, I can use LumaFusion on an iPad, but it's not nearly as fully feature rich as Final Cut is on MacBook Pro. And until we get Final Cut on iPad, yeah, I can't. I need my MacBook Pro for I need my MacBook Pro for Final Cut Pro because we don't have Final Cut Pro on iPad yet. So, yeah, I need my MacBook for stuff like that. But I do find myself using my iPad more than the MacBook for mostly everything outside of video editing and streaming.
That's true. I find the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The iPad is it's more ergonomic. It's more portable. It's just more versatile to me to use for the things that I like to use for. I usually mostly for media consumption, more or less. But yeah, the iPad it's just more portable and versatile for the things that I like to do that I don't need a MacBook Pro to do. The Mac Pro is my workhorse. That's my workstation. I sit down here, I stream here, I edit my videos here, I do all my heavy lifting on the MacBook Pro, obviously. But outside of that, it's all I'm using the iPad Pro, and that's pretty much it.
Well, to tack onto that, like, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know, like I try to use the iPad for more of my other like heavy work stuff. I always try, and then sometimes I run into limits. Like I was trying to edit my Squarespace website the other day for applehype.com, which is a very simple Squarespace site. And there's just little things like they hadn't converted over. I couldn't add in like external links. Like when you click a link that it opens it in a new browser. It's like little things. And then, so some days if I edit on my Mac and some days on my iPad, well, I had to make a choice. Like I'm not going to use that open in a new target on the Mac because I can't do that on the iPad. Also, it would be an inconsistent, you know, experience for people checking the website. You know, so there are little things still, but they end up being rather significant still. You know what I mean? But I try.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's just some things that you need a MacBook for over an iPad. And speaking of MacBooks and things like that, Chris, we know that Apple is over the next 2 years, they're going to be transitioning their MacBook line over to using their own Apple Silicon chip. So what do you think about the conversion or the transition, I should say, from Apple using Intel CPUs to using their own Apple Silicon-based CPUs over the next 2 years?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, obviously. I want one very badly. That goes without saying. Transition-wise, though, I expect it to go relatively smooth, like pretty smooth. I'm surprised already at how much progress they made like before the announcement to make it really smooth. And so it's the same old thing, you know, like should you buy one now or should you wait? It's just like a matter of like, well, dang, you need one when you need one. So if you need one before, shoot. But you know, I don't know. They just brought out the new iMac, you know, and it has still Intel inside, and I think it's going to be really cool. It's like more pro than the iMac Pro right now, you know.
Yep.
And that's just how it goes. And I'm just expecting a bigger, instead of like a little leap, kind of periodically, a much bigger leap, hopefully, when we switch to Apple Silicon, which I think is going to be amazing. But honestly, I'm still finding out little things all the time. I was on Apple support today because Final Cut crashed on me, and their support is so awesome for the pro people. Do you ever call like the pro support? I like once a month call pro support.
I've never called them. No.
Oh, dude. Then I almost hope that you have a problem with Final Cut sometimes because they're so awesome. The pro app support team, wow. It's always like a pleasure to talk to them. And I always learn something. But I figured out today, did you know this? If you're running on battery power on your Mac, do you use a laptop or desktop?
Laptop.
Okay, yeah. If you're on battery power, then it's automatically switching between your graphics to save on the battery. And he was like, well, yeah, if you go into your preferences and to the energy saver and uncheck that, it will like fully utilize. Because I had like 8 gigs in here, and it was like only using like 4 because I was not plugged in. You know. Anyways, there's stuff I don't know too all the time. I'm always learning.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that Apple support would know some stuff that we don't know. I mean, that's not always the case with employees of these companies and things like that. But you would hope if you're calling technical support that they will know. They will have the technical acumen about the product that they support. That would be cool.
Absolutely. But there's something about that group. They're like the Navy SEALs of Apple support, I think. Nice. The pro app guys, they're like way beyond the normal support. It's crazy.
That's pretty cool, especially given the amount of money that we shell out for Apple Pro products like Final Cut Pro and Logic and Mac Pros and MacBook Pros. These products are not cheap at all. So we better have some top level support. I respect that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to get into all your business, but I think you are wearing a Denver Bronco cap. So does that mean you are on the West Coast, or that a?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Colorado. So,
okay.
Yeah, I got to support for sure.
Gotcha. So where are you located? Are you East Coast, West Coast? Where are you?
Yeah, Midwest. Yeah.
Oh, you're in the Midwest. Are you here with me? Okay. All right, cool.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the Midwest.
All right. Yeah. Somebody's got to be out here because they're either in Toronto or New York City or LA. Yeah, those 3 places. Someone's got to be in the middle.
There's an insane amount of YouTubers in Toronto. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's maddening. But yeah, I mean, obviously everybody, a lot of the bigger YouTubers are out in LA or on the West Coast because that's where all the brands and agencies and things like that are. And then there's a good amount of them in New York too, because again, there's a lot of brands and agencies in New York as well. So yeah, not too many of us in the Midwest, but there are a few of us in the Midwest, definitely, man.
Yeah, I made a deliberate decision not to do that, to stay in the Midwest and set up a base here, because I feel like what Casey Neistat sort of was to New York, that's a cool experience to be able to bring to a place. And I think there's something to just doing your own thing, like there is something to be said, for being around a lot of other people, being able to bump in, network, collab, and there's nothing like an in-person relationship, but with the COVID thing going on anyways,
right.
That's not really helping anybody right now. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad to find out actually that you're not in one of those places, because it's cool to see people doing something else.
Yes, I am in here in Chicago, Illinois. I am here in the Midwest. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. That's right, man. We need some more Midwest people, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, iPhone 12, we're gonna get all OLED displays on all of them this year, which is pretty cool because normally, for the past 2 years, the entry level models have been restricted to LCD displays. So it's nice that they're all getting OLED this year. There's supposedly 2 new size models coming this year. We're gonna get a 5.4-inch iPhone and a 6.7-inch iPhone. So that's pretty cool. And there seems to be a lot of excitement about the 5.4-inch iPhone. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. I think I differ from a lot of people. When I have a phone, well, one of my phones, I like the smaller model. Like I like for my phone, because it's mobile, I like the most amount of power in the smallest package that I can get. Because when I get back to the desk, that's where I go big. I got the ultra wide, I got, the Mac, I got the sidecar running, the triple screen. But when I'm out, like I want the extra pocket space, you know what I mean? And so this year I'm going to be doing 2 things. I'm going to get one of each up. So every year I try to go small and then big for my personal phone to get some experience either way, whether I want it or not. And so I had the small Pro this year, so I'll be going big next year. I anticipate not really liking it, although whichever one I don't have, I feel like I want the other one because the grass is always greener,
So you say
we'll see.
So you're going small this year, or you're going big this year?
I'm probably for my personal one going to go back to big, even though I prefer the small, just so I can get the experience. Yeah.
I got an iPhone SE 2020 sitting around here somewhere, and it's just too small. I can't deal. I need a big iPhone. I need to have a big iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be different for everybody. But if that thing didn't have the Jay Leno chin and the enormous forehead, if that was all screen, that would be like my dream size, to be honest.
I mean, I think you're gonna get your wish with the iPhone 12 because I know the 5.4 inch one, it will be all screen more or less. I mean, obviously you'll have the notch, but it's not gonna have a chin or forehead like that. So you might get your wish.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it. We'll see though.
We shall see. Also, another thing that's supposed to be coming to our iPhones this year is 5G. Do you happen to live in a 5G area?
I don't know. I may not.
Who is your cell phone carrier?
It is T-Mobile / Sprint now.
Okay, well, you might be because apparently T-Mobile now have 5G nationwide supposedly. So you might be.
Well, that would be cool. Do you think 5G is cool, or is it sort of gimmicky still?
It's still gimmicky. It's way too early in its infancy. It's still only in select pockets if you're on Verizon anyway. But it's way too early to be talking about 5G as a valuable reason to not get a phone or get a phone. So
yeah, because
when it arrives, it will change the way we use technology for real.
Yeah, I'm gonna be excited someday to cancel whatever my landline or the line coming into the house and just have the 5G off my phone powering everything. That would be pretty cool.
Or when we have 5G in the home. I mean, I know in downtown Chicago, they already have some homes with 5G. I actually toured a Verizon 5G apartment last year, and that was
really
wild. Yes, it was wild. You could literally the bandwidth of 5G is so amazing that you can literally have over 10 devices on the network, all accessing 5G speeds at the same time. It's crazy.
That's nice.
That's not possible on 4G. If you have 10 devices on a 4G network, the speeds are going pew.
But what's the upload in that situation?
Right now,
is that still pretty good?
Well, when they actually, it's weird because as of right now anyway, there is no such thing as 5G upload speed. The upload speeds are 4G. I think they're waiting to turn it on. They might have turned it on already. I don't know. But when they turn on the 5G uploads, I think they're going to be pretty symmetrical. So that's going to be crazy.
Right. Yes. Can I ask a question of my own right here?
Sure.
You're a Sony guy, right? If I recall.
In what way?
Or are you? For your cameras, or no, you're not. With the Sony, with the two things that came out, we had 8K versus really awesome low light 4K. What was your opinion with those cameras?
Listen, man. Listen. 8K is just not even on my brain yet. It's too early. 8K is about developing 5G right now. Stop playing. We are still in the land of 4K. Hell, network television stations don't even shoot in 4K yet, and we're talking about 8K. Just stop it.
Yeah.
I shoot all my video with a Sony A7 III. Yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Were you excited about the new model, or?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a big camera person, so I'm not giddy like everybody else. But I understand why they're happy. They have been waiting for that camera for so long. We have definitely been waiting for a camera with an articulating screen because Canon had it, Panasonic kind of had it. Every other major camera manufacturer has had the articulating screen for the longest time, except for Sony. And now we have it with Sony. So I know people are going over the moon about that camera because it has an articulating screen. It has 4K 120. It has no record limit. I mean, it just does so many things well. And nobody cares if it doesn't have 8K. 8K is still early. Nobody cares too much about that. But that A7S III is a great, great camera. Yeah,
definitely. And you see, this is why I pre-ordered that instead of the Canon for sure. But this is why I need that optical flow, because I'm going to take that 4K 120 and then slow it down 50% and then add some optical flow. And then I'm going to have 4K 240.
Look at you getting all fancy. You get all fancy about it. I feel you. So
what you gotta do.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you pre-ordered the A7S3, right?
Yeah, I can't believe it takes so long.
I love how you just try to play it all. Yeah. Yeah, you did. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. You know what? I can't play no quarter because I actually purchased a LG 65-inch OLED, which is almost as much as that damn camera.
I saw that.
I had used up my expensive purchases for the month.
Your allowance is gone.
It's
Mine
gone.
too. How is that thing?
It's amazing. I don't really use it enough to appreciate it yet, but I got it mainly to get ready for the next generation of console because I definitely want to get that PS5. I'm ready for that.
Oh, but I'm an Xbox guy.
I mean, I'm an Xbox guy too, but Microsoft Microsoft has not given me a reason to care about the next generation of their Xbox yet. So until they do, I will be lining up on the Sony line getting the PS5.
That's true. You know what? Actually, I don't really care. In college, I just played a lot of Halo, and I got stuck like on Halo, and then everything else came out, and it could have been amazing.
Oh my God!
I got stuck.
Halo in college was like, it was amazing. We used to have Halo LAN parties. And I remember screaming at my neighbors when they killed me, like, damn it! God,
I know.
So much fun.
How many missed classes, man?
I didn't miss any classes, but we used to at night we used to play a lot. We used to play a lot at night. Like I said, the Halo LAN party, amazing, utterly amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't caught up with it for a while though.
Yeah, right now Microsoft is not giving me a reason to care about the Series X. They keep talking about Game Pass, and I'm like, that's all good and well, but what about the box? What can the next box do that makes me want it? Until you show me what the box can do, I'm not interested yet, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, man. Oh, man.
So you're not going to play Apple Arcade on your brand new giant TV?
No. God, no. That would be a miss. I used Apple Arcade for about 2 weeks and gave up because I only ended up playing one game on it. And
what was the game?
Speed Demon. It was like a race car game.
Yeah.
But that was the only one.
Yeah, I canceled too.
It's just I just man, and that's why I don't like the whole game subscription service thing because you got to pay. So you pay monthly to pay to have access to all these games, and I don't care about all those games. Maybe I just care about one game or two games. But in fact, at least with Apple Arcade anyway, you can't even buy that game outside of Apple Arcade. So you have to subscribe to Apple Arcade to play that game. Otherwise, you don't have access at all. At least with Xbox Game Pass, if I don't want to pay monthly for the game, I could just buy the one game and then have the access to that one game. So at least I can do that. But with Apple Arcade, no. It's either Apple Arcade or nothing, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Not really cool with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Not cool with that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. So, Chris, is there any other piece of tech that you're looking forward to here in 2020?
Well, I guess aside from all the Apple stuff that's coming, in the pipeline in fall here, I don't know. The camera stuff, that is new to me. I was a Panasonic guy, and it's funny because I'm not really a camera focused YouTuber. Like, I like to have good looking footage, but I don't necessarily always have the time to sit there color correcting and grading. Like, I just published on the day and I didn't even do color correction or anything. It's just like how it was straight out of camera. But I would like to improve, like all that stuff. So I've been sort of like getting into camera stuff more. And it feels kind of very foreign to me a little bit. But so I ditched Panasonic. I used to be a GH5 person and I went all in. So I got 3 A6600s. I got the ZV-1 and I pre-ordered the new A7S III. And so that is what I'm really excited about. But not only that, just like learning how to improve my skills, because otherwise it's all pointless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like Roberto, he always says, you got to know how to use the cameras. I mean, it doesn't matter if you buy new gear. I made a tweet the other day. People are talking about how Marquez is only good because he has a red camera and things like that. I'm like, dude, I could give Marquez an iPhone and he will make a movie out of it. He's that good. It's not about the camera. What are you talking about? But yeah.
Absolutely. And honestly, it has been, I don't know, a month or something. Circumstances forced me to start using the iPhone a lot more than I was for video stuff. And it just plugged in. And we talk about the ecosystem, just being able to airdrop, this really high quality. Because oftentimes what happens is I'm in the edit and it's like, oh crap, I don't have something to illustrate what I'm talking about. Well, I just grab the iPhone, shoot it, airdrop it, like right while I'm editing at my desk. Like it's so convenient. But you can do amazing things for sure with the iPhone. But I will say there's something to the 8K, and it's the fact that you can crop in like a bunch and not lose resolution. That's the one thing.
That. Yep, I've
That's
heard
the
that.
one thing. But other than that, I don't need to mess with the overheating and also the, this would be a beast.
Problem in Canada with that overheating.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Man. Rough.
Right.
Rough. Well, Chris, Mr. DailyTekk, man, awesome conversation, man. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
This was fun, man. I'll have to buy you. What is it? Nitro coffee is obviously the best coffee. But what is the coffee that you like?
Stop it. You know what I know. More crap for the best. Don't mess around.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm pretty much DailyTekk, spelled DailyTekk, all over the place. Instagram, Twitter, mostly YouTube. And yeah, check out the podcast. The podcast is named a little bit different. It's the DailyTekk After Party. But that's everywhere you listen to podcasts.
There you go, you all. There you go. Thank you guys for hanging out live tonight. I appreciate you guys. I think Geno's been pasting this channel link in the chat. So if you want to go check out his channel, there it is. If you guys super chatted, brought me a coffee, or became a channel member, thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for always supporting. I appreciate you guys. As you all know, this is only the second of 3 podcasts tonight. The next one is in about 45 minutes. So make sure you come back for me and Greg. We're going to celebrate him hitting 100K today on YouTube. So yeah, make sure you come back for that. Shout out to those of you all that listen to the podcast on audio only today. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of VypDrive with me and DailyTekk. If you want to check out his content, please go down to the show notes. His information is down there. Check him out. If you like Apple content, if you want to know all about iPad and iPhones and things like that, definitely go check him out. He is legit. If you want to support the podcast or donate, there's a buy me a coffee link in the show notes. Not required, but anything that you're willing to contribute, greatly appreciate it. But if you happen to be listening on Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts so we can get back to the top 200 of tech podcasts on Apple. That way we can get more people to discover the show and all that good stuff. So if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a rating or review. And thank you for listening to another episode of VypDrive. But most of y'all, I'll probably see you guys in about 45 minutes. But until the next time, people, this your boy Viper, the man about tech. You know where to find me. So come back for more.